You've been giving compliments the wrong way your entire life. Beautiful. You look amazing. You're so hot. They sound polite. They sound safe. But let me ask you if she's already heard the same words 1,000 times from men she barely remembers. Why would your version suddenly matter? It doesn't. Real attraction isn't born from flattery. It happens when a woman feels something, deeper mentally, emotionally, sometimes even physically. And that requires a different kind of compliment. Not one that polishes her ego, but one that slips past her defenses. The kind that makes her feel seen in ways she never expected. The kind that lingers long after you've walked away. This isn't about sweet talk. It's about influence, and in this video, I'm going to reveal 3 forbidden compliments most men will never dare to say. They work not because they sound nice, but because they carry power, they trigger curiosity, tension, and memory. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Daily Stoic Dose. Walk with me on this path and you'll learn how to stop being predictable and start becoming a man of true value. Number 1. Stop using the most common compliment every man relies on, the first thing most men say. Without even thinking. Is simple, you're beautiful. It feels right, polite, even respectful, but here's the reality most don't realize. It doesn't create impact anymore, not because it's wrong, but because it's overused. She's heard it too many times, from random guys online, from men she barely remembers, from people who didn't matter, so when you say it, it doesn't stand out, it blends in, because you're only repeating something she already knows, and repeating the obvious doesn't create attraction, it creates familiarity, and familiarity without emotion gets ignored, so instead of pointing out her beauty, shift your focus to how she affects you. That's where things change. Instead of saying, "You're beautiful," say something like, "There's something about the way you look at me. It feels a little dangerous." Now you've changed the dynamic, you're not just noticing her, you're reacting to her, and that creates tension. Or try this, "I can't tell if you're someone I should figure out. Or someone I'd get lost in." Now you've moved away from appearance, into experience, you're making her feel like there's something deeper about her presence, and that's what pulls her in, because attraction isn't built on obvious compliments, it's built on emotional impact. Take it a step further, you carry your beauty like it doesn't even matter to you. That's rare. Now you're not just seeing how she looks, you're noticing how she holds herself. And that instantly separates you from most men, because most men react to what they see, very few pay attention to how it's expressed. Think of compliments in 3 categories. First, the safe ones: you look nice. You're pretty. That outfit looks good. They're fine, but forgettable. Second, the ones that create tension: there's something about the way you move. It stands out. The way you just looked at me. That felt intentional. Now you're building attraction, you're creating a feeling. Third, psychological compliments: you just made me forget what I was about to say. You act like you already know how things are going to play out. These stay in her mind. Because now she's thinking about what you meant, and that's what makes the difference. Most men use compliments to get a reaction. Confident men say what they actually feel, they're not trying to impress, they're expressing, and that's what gives their words weight. So ask yourself this: have you ever said something that made her pause for a moment, not respond quickly, but actually stop and look at you differently? That's when your words start working. Number 2. Combine desire and understanding in the same compliment. Most men make a simple mistake. They either focus only on her looks, or only on her personality. You look amazing. You're really smart. Both are fine, but incomplete, because attraction isn't one-dimensional. A woman doesn't just want to feel wanted, she wants to feel understood too, and when those two feelings come together, that's when your words hit deeper, that's when she starts paying attention. So instead of separating them, blend both. For example, you move like you're completely aware of yourself. And I won't lie, it's hard not to notice. The first part speaks to her awareness, her presence, her control. The second part introduces attraction, without being too direct. That balance creates a stronger effect. Or this, the way you stay calm like that. It says a lot. Now you're not just focusing on her appearance, you're noticing her energy, her composure, her control, and that feels different to her. Or try, you seem like someone who knows exactly when to speak. And when not to. Now you're complimenting something subtle, something most people overlook, and that's what makes it stand out, because attraction grows when you notice details others miss, not just how she looks, but how she behaves, how she carries herself, how she controls the moment. But there's one rule that matters here: delivery. If you sound like you're trying too hard, the impact disappears, but if you say it naturally, like it's just something you noticed, it works, because now you're not performing, you're simply present, and presence is what creates connection. At that point, you're not just talking to her, you're creating a feeling she remembers later. Number 3. Don't just compliment what's obvious. Notice what's hidden. Most men play it safe. They say things like, "You're sweet. You're fun. You're always positive." Nothing wrong with that, but nothing powerful either, because those words don't create depth. They create comfort, and comfort alone doesn't build attraction. Here's something most men miss: women don't just want to be seen as perfect, they want to be seen as real, and being real includes complexity, intensity, even a side they don't always show. Every woman has layers, a softer side, and a stronger, more intense side, but she doesn't reveal everything right away, because most people wouldn't understand it. But when you notice that side, without judging it, it creates a different kind of connection. Instead of saying, "You're nice," you could say, "There's something about you." I can't tell if it pulls people in or keeps them at a distance. Now you're acknowledging depth. Not just surface traits. Or this, "You've got a kind of presence." It doesn't ask for attention. It naturally gets it. Now you're recognizing something deeper: confidence, energy, control, and when she feels that you see that side, it stands out, because most men don't go beyond the obvious, they stay on the surface, but when you notice what's underneath, that's when you become memorable. Number 4. Compliment the side of her she doesn't openly admit. Every woman has certain desires, preferences, even tendencies, that she doesn't talk about directly, not because they're wrong, but because they're personal, sometimes even a little contradictory to the image she shows the world. Most men never notice this. They stay on the surface, they compliment what's obvious, and completely miss what actually creates intrigue, because real attraction often lives in what's unspoken. So instead of repeating the usual lines, you point towards something she doesn't openly express. For example, you act like you don't enjoy attention, but the way you carry yourself says otherwise. Now this isn't just a compliment, it's an observation. You're recognizing a contrast, and that immediately grabs her attention. Or this, "You seem like you like being in control, but I get the feeling part of you enjoys letting go too." Now you've touched something deeper. You've acknowledged both sides of her, the one she shows, and the one she doesn't talk about, and that creates tension, because she feels understood without having to explain herself. Another example: there's something about you calm on the outside, but there's more going on underneath. Now you're not judging her, you're recognizing depth, and when you do that, she starts to feel seen in a different way, because most people only react to what's visible, very few notice what's hidden, and when you do, it stands out instantly. But there's one important thing here. You have to mean it. If it sounds forced, or like you're trying to be clever, it won't land, but if it comes from genuine observation, it works, because authenticity is what makes these lines feel real, and when it feels real, it stays with her. Number 5. Make her feel understood, not just desired. Most men think attraction is about showing desire, so they say things like, "You're so attractive. You're hot. I want you." And yes, those words can get attention, but they don't create depth, because she hears that kind of attention all the time. It's common, and anything common loses value. What's rare is being understood. That's what most men never offer. They focus on what they feel, but ignore how she experiences the world. So instead of saying what everyone else says, you show her that you notice something deeper. For example, "You seem like someone who reads people before they even say anything." Now you're not talking about her looks, you're talking about awareness, perception, something internal, or this, you act like you don't need attention. But you're very aware of it when it's there. Now you're pointing out a subtle truth, something she might not openly admit, but recognizes, another one. You look calm. But I get the feeling your mind is always active. Now you're acknowledging both sides, the outer calm, and the inner movement, and that's what makes it feel real, because you're not just reacting to her presence, you're understanding it. Here's why this works so well: when a woman feels desired, she might enjoy it, but when she feels understood, she remembers it, because understanding is rare, and rare creates emotional impact. Most people talk at her, very few actually see her. And when you become that person, you naturally stand out, but again, this only works if it's genuine. If you're just saying it to impress her, she'll feel that immediately. But if it comes from real observation, it connects, because it shows attention, and attention creates meaning. Number 6. Say what most men avoid saying. There's one thing that separates average conversations from memorable ones: honesty, not the safe kind, but the kind most people hold back, because most men try too hard to be liked. They filter themselves, they choose words that sound polite, safe, acceptable, and because of that, they never say anything that actually stands out. Everything becomes predictable, and predictable gets forgotten. But when you say something real, something slightly unexpected, that's when attention shifts. For example, you seem like the type who doesn't let people get too close. That's not a typical compliment, but it's real, it shows observation, and it creates curiosity. Or this: I don't think you're as easy to read as you let people believe. Now you've challenged the surface, you've introduced depth. Another one: you come across confident, but I feel like there's more behind it. Again, you're not attacking, you're observing, and that creates a different kind of connection, because most people avoid saying anything that might feel uncomfortable, but a little discomfort creates awareness. And awareness creates attraction. Here's the key: it's not about being rude, it's about being honest. In a calm and grounded way. If your tone is steady, and your intention is clear, it works, because now you're not trying to impress her, you're simply expressing what you see, and that's what makes it different. Most men try to win approval, but when you're not focused on that, your words carry more weight, because they're not driven by need, they're driven by clarity, and clarity is what people remember. Number 7. Use compliments sparingly, not constantly. Most men overdo it, they throw compliments into every moment, thinking more words means more attraction. But it does the opposite. When everything is praised, nothing feels special, your words lose weight, your presence loses impact, because value doesn't come from quantity, it comes from timing. So instead of saying something every few minutes, you hold back, you observe, and when you finally say something, it lands. For example, the way you think. That's rare. Simple, direct, but powerful, because it wasn't forced. Or, there's a calmness about you most people wouldn't notice. I like that. Now it means something, because you didn't rush it. Here's the truth: scarcity creates value. When your compliments are limited, they become memorable, and when they're memorable, so are you. Number 8. Turn a compliment into a subtle challenge. A compliment alone is good, but a compliment with a challenge creates intrigue, because now you're not just admiring her, you're engaging her. For example, you seem very independent. I wonder if you ever let someone really understand you. Now you've done two things: you've acknowledged a strength, and introduced a question. Or, you come across confident, but I feel like you don't show everything. Now she's thinking, now she's reacting, because you didn't just agree with her image. You expanded it, and that's what creates tension, because attraction isn't just about comfort, it's about curiosity. Number 9. Leave her thinking about you after you're gone. The real impact doesn't happen in the moment, it happens later, when she replays the conversation, when she thinks, why did that feel different? And that only happens when you don't over-explain, when you leave space. For example, that explains a lot. And then you stop, no long explanation, no follow-up, just silence. Now her mind fills the gap, and that's where you stay, because people don't remember everything you say, they remember what made them think. and when she starts thinking about you. Without you being there, that's when attraction grows. Final message: attraction isn't about saying more, it's about saying the right thing, at the right moment, with the right presence. Most men talk to impress, but the man who stands out is the one who observes, feels, and then speaks with intention. He doesn't chase reactions, he creates experiences, and that's the difference. So next time you're about to give a compliment, don't just say what she's heard before, say something that makes her pause, because in that pause, that's where everything changes.